It was in the night of Monday 15th of August 2022, so let those who watch this experience be on the alert. I was sleeping and it was 3 a.m., and I saw a dream where I was somewhere with brothers. Then someone whose face I could not see said, "Come, I have something to show you." Quickly I followed him and we stood like indoor and we were watching what was happening outside. All of a sudden, I heard like a powerful thunderclap in the sky. This thunderclap was actually a voice that was speaking in the sky. I had this knowledge that the voice that roared like a thunder spoke to me and a specific numbers of people all over the world, and not everybody was able to hear this voice, only a certain group of people, and everybody that heard the voice of thunder was on the alert. And the voice of thunder said, "You thought it was all jokes, you thought it was all fables, you thought it was all stories, but behold I am coming to get my elected, I am coming to get my bride." The more this voice was thundering in the sky, I saw the heaven opened, and a radiant man of light was descending and moving in the sky. He was dressed in brilliant white, I could not see his face because of the glory. He was saying, "I have come to take my bride, you thought it was a fable. You thought it was stories." I saw that anyone that was able to hear the thunderous voice was taken up towards him in the sky. People were evaporating. It was astonishing to see these things, and I shouted about fear, but my companion told me, "Calm down and watch the transformation of the saint," and he slowed down the time so that I could see this change that was happening in the blinking of an eye. Since everybody that was able to hear the voice of thunder was changed and evaporated, I was also changed and I was about to rise like them, for I heard the voice that thunder in heaven, but my companion held my hand and said, "You have to wait to the end." Finally I saw the shining character that was coming descending to earth up to where I was standing, and he told me, "When you will hear that I am coming soon, it will be too late, I won't be here. When they will tell you I am here, know that I will not be there, it will be too late." I could not understand his words, but when I looked at the scenes outside, I saw a disorder that was generalized and there were catastrophe, as if everything collapsed in a second all over the world. The earth was darkness, there was fire and smoke everywhere, people were screaming. It was an horrible scenes to behold because I was trembling. This was just a dream, but it was so intense. You cannot imagine the magnitude of these imminent event that is about to befall this world. Since I was shaking in terror, my companion that held my hand let go of me, and I began to rise, and in the blink of an eye I found myself in a new world, another world. The place was paradisiac. The brightness and serenity and beauty of this new world before me was magnificent. We stood like before a river that was crystal shining and limpid. We were given pure white dresses and we stood in many lines. I was looking in wonder the innumerous multitude of people of all nations, all races and all languages in this place. This was unprecedented and beyond anything men could imagine. When I looked the countless saints that overcame and were heading to the eternal world, I saw that the people of my generation of the end of times were very little among this crowds. That was in majority the saint of many centuries and the saints of ancient times altogether heading to the New Jerusalem. However, thanks to God's revelation, I saw that the saint of this generation of modern times and this generation were little. I was enabled by the Lord to discern and differentiate the saint of ancient times, the saint of past millennium and the saint of 18 centuries and 20 centuries, brother amongst the countless thousands people. I saw the saints of the first centuries, the second centuries and the fifth centuries. I saw Christian of the 15 centuries. It was an innumerable crowds, for the saint of the ancient times, and that of many centuries of human histories were assembled before Mount Zion, the city of God. But when I saw Christian of our generation, brother, we were little in comparison to Christian of different centuries, and I asked my companion, "Where are the saint of modern times? Where are the saint of the end time and my generation?" My companion replied to me, "You ask about the saint that live in your generation. Many of them have not been marked by the seal of God. In order to be rapture for the city of God you must receive the seal of God. Only few Christian of your generation and modern times that were sealed." When I looked further I saw that there was like an office, where the myriads of people were led. We were like in a queue and were received one by a character that was giving each one of the saints something that seems like a sum of money, but it was not money. It was like personal account for the next world and everlasting life. And when I looked beyond the office where this character was giving people what they need for life in the eternal ages, I looked further in the horizon and saw like a new world, new city. It was built in celestial precious stones, and it shone with many light of many color. There is no science fiction futuristic city that come close and compare to the beauty and splendor of this divine city. It is what eyes has not seen, what ear has not heard, what has not risen in men's imagination. Our affliction cannot be compared to the glory to come. I was watching from far the city prepared by the Lord for the saints that have clean and washed their garment with the blood of the Lamb, a city for those who live preparing themselves. And when I looked down where I was standing, I saw that the myriads were standing on gold, emerald and many precious stones. My companion said it is because the new city is built with precious stones that this landscape that is the outskirt of the city is precious stone. I took a precious stones on my hand, it was bluish emerald, and shining very beautiful, as people in the queue were given what needed for the next life in the New Jerusalem, and they were transported instantly in the new city. When they were given what seemed like sums of money, I asked my companion who is the man that is giving people what they need to live in the city. He told me it's the King of Kings. When he said that, immediately I found myself before the King. I asked him, since when are you king? He replied, since eternity. I was so surprised and that I woke up. When I woke up, I wonder, did I watch a science fiction movie before I sleep? I only follow my only course before I sleep. I wonder and said, Lord, give me a sign of confirmation if this vision come from you. Immediately I saw that I found myself back in apocalyptic times again. This time around it was not a dream. I was awake with eyes wide open, and the Lord spoke with voice of thunders. These are not story, these are not fable, these are not jokes. Go tell the people of your generation, I am coming back. They are distracted, the churches are distracted, pastors are distracted, those who are supposed to prepare the bride are distracted. Behold, many saints of your generation are not sealed and will not inherit this everlasting city. Go tell them to prepare themselves. Everybody must prepare and be ready. I then saw that the King put together all the events, vision and words of thunder that I saw in the dream in the form of scroll, that he folded and told me, take and eat. It will be like honey in your mouth but bitter in your stomach, just like the prophet Ezekiel and the apostle John. And it was honey in my mouth, but when I swallow it I felt bitter. He asked me, what is in your hand? When I opened my hand, I saw the emerald precious stone that I was holding in the dream. The King said, take it. Immediately it disappeared and became part of my composition. Then I woke up and realized that this experience was real. When I began to speak in tongue, instantly I found myself again in the apocalyptic vision. This was a tremendous experience. And I heard the voice of thunders. The King said, I am coming back. It's no jokes, no story and no fables. Tell this to the church and warn everybody because it is imminent. It is imminent. And he said 3 times, it is imminent. I woke up, I sought my wife that was sleeping with the child. I looked at her and said with gravity, darling, Jesus is coming back, and it is imminent.